From one scrawny white kid to Chelsea to another scrawny kid now to Newcastle. Anthony Gordon has transferred from Everton to Newcastle, basically doing the Wayne Rooney, but in a less cool fashion. Let's check it out. It's done in the morning. I never wake up at 9, so it's a very big difference. But it's sort of like I have to do this before the Irish guy does. I'm pretty sure when uploading, I'm going to find that he's already done it. So yeah, try to beat you, but I got you next time. Now you see, when you're a young, scrawny team who had a purple patch of form last season and was linked to the big clubs in the world for a basically club record or big ass fee, you kind of have to go two ways about it. Either you stay calm and collected and be like, okay, these are just recognizing my talent, or keep improving my talent. I'm gonna stay on the team that I'm in. I'm gonna help my, especially when the team is like getting in the being in a relegation zone and stuff. I'm gonna help them uh, get out of this mess. And then if we go down, then I'm going down with them. Type shit. Or two, you skip training, you stop being a brat, you complain on social media that you want to leave, and you make it so known that you want to leave to the point where the club is forced to accept any fee that comes through. Anthony did the second one. Gosh, it's like people named Anthony just don't like being good. Now, with Anthony Gordon, he basically said fuck you to Everton and jumped ship before they get relegated to Newcastle. Now I was gonna make a joke about how what if Newcastle like find a way to get relegated and Everton stay up? That would be funny. But I mean they're third. I don't think that's happening anytime soon, big man. So what would Anthony Gordon bring to Newcastle before I say what's the point of Anthony going to Newcastle? Because I feel like we know that one, but somehow we don't know that one. So let's just keep it on the wrap. What would Anthony provide for Newcastle? Well, he would provide a second option off the bench. Uh, he would be probably back up to someone. He would be someone like Ryan Fraser, but Ryan is already of age and he's got pace. I mean, he's got pace. He's got close control. I think he can whip in a good cross, and he's a Mason Greenwood minus the sex scandals. But then when you're in Newcastle, who already has who plays a system that is completely different from what Anthony Gordon would thrive in, you you as Eddie Howe would either have to change your system to accommodate one player and risk that system completely fucking you up, or you keep that player on the bench, use your system, and if any one of your attackers are tired, bring that player on. I think Eddie Howe is a smart man, and we all know the decision is going to pick. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade that Anthony would be useless at Newcastle. I think he would be useful. Like I said, he would be a dynamic off the bench. He would be a dynamic super sub and would basically do what Mudryk did when he was subbed on against Liverpool for Chelsea. He would bring in dynamism. He would bring in attacking flair and stuff like that. But not as flary as Mudryk, but he would bring something that is sort of new to the thing. Like he would go on tired defenders and maybe make a couple of chances here and there, maybe gets his own chances there. But when it comes to starting, he either has to like really, really be that good in training, or he has to like switch positions or try to play in a system that he's not used to. Try to play in a team that is way better when it comes to personnel and team spirit in Newcastle. Newcastle are pretty sure they see all each other as brothers. They love each other. I mean, why do you think Dan Burn is doing very good at left back? I mean, like, it's mad. But yeah, like now, let's go to the other question. What would Newcastle benefit from Anthony Gordon? Probably more English people. Um, English hype is gonna help. They're gonna help with English hype. They're gonna have an English young budding star, and everyone will be talking about him. I guess that's kind of the only thing that Newcastle would benefit from the Anthony Gordon transfer. But to be honest, I don't. Maybe maybe this is pure speculation as well. Maybe Anthony Gordon is a way to get people like Jacob Murphy or Ryan Fraser out of the club. So that would benefit them because they would lose people who aren't playing so well but on sick ass wages in a Newcastle perspective. But all in all, like Newcastle. I don't think they would benefit anything from Anthony Gordon. It would be more Anthony get benefiting from Newcastle because Newcastle are third in the Premier League. Might have a good chance they want to play in Europe next season. If they get this form up, they're playing Champions League season. They're playing Champions League next season. They're going to be considered as one of the greatest, baby stories type thing. Although they were kind of injected with huge amounts of steroid money. But yeah, you get to see Anthony is going to be in Europe next season, so that's a benefit for him. Whereas with Newcastle benefiting the other way, I don't kind of see it as a fireball option. Maybe someone to sell on afterwards because English tax still works even if the player is finished. So they might earn a 30, 40, 50 mil bag. That's the benefit I see. Anyway, this is your boy TWG. Hope you loved the video, the style. I cannot say it's completely different. I've talked, but this isn't like a football stories I find interesting type thing. It's just like one story and I'm talking about it. Interesting football stories I find interesting. I need to get used to saying that way. Football stories I find interesting. So, if you'd like this video and would like to see more football stories, and you could check a couple links in the description with the first and second episode or first and second part of football stories I find interesting, where I talked about the Manchester derby. I talked about Ronaldo's transfer to El Hilal and how Google is trying to force El Hilal down my throat. I talked about the PSG versus Riyadh All Stars. I talked about Riyad Mahrez's performance. I talked about the Chelsea versus Liverpool game that I referenced in the beginning. I talked about a lot and even niche like football stories like the supposed transfer rumors between Hakim Ziyech and Barca, although it looks like it's fallen off. Yeah, subscribe.